You ever wonder what it's like to be the one waiting in the dark? To be the secret? The one who gets the stolen hours, the whispered phone calls, but never the holidays, never the weekends, never the public hand-holding? From the outside, the mistress is often painted as the villain, the homewrecker, the predator, the woman with no morals who steals what isn't hers. But if you look closer, if you peel back the layers of seduction and secrecy, you don't usually find a monster. You find a tragedy. You find a psychological system built on deep, unhealed wounds, a distorted view of love, and a desperate hunger for validation. You find someone who is often suffering just as much as the person they are betraying. And once you understand the psychology of the mistress, you stop seeing just the scandal. You start seeing the pattern. You start seeing why someone would choose to be second place in someone else's life. Let's break it down. It usually starts with a narrative. He doesn't come to her saying, "I'm a liar and I want to use you." No. He comes with a story. "My wife doesn't understand me. We haven't slept together in years. We're only together for the kids." And here is where the first psychological hook sinks in. The savior complex. She hears his pain, or what she thinks is his pain, and she feels needed. She feels like the only one who truly sees him. Suddenly, she isn't just a lover. She's his refuge. She's the soft place for him to land away from his nagging, cold, or crazy wife. This feeds a massive ego need. It makes her feel special. She can't make him happy, but I can. It turns the affair into a competition that she thinks she is winning. Psychology calls this mate poaching. For some, there is a subconscious thrill in winning a man who has already been pre-approved by another female. If he chooses me over her, it must mean I am better, prettier, younger, more exciting, more worthy. The affair becomes a way to regulate self-esteem through competition. If she feels inadequate in other parts of her life, being the chosen one, even in secret, gives a massive ego boost. It validates her desirability in the most primal way. He risks his whole life just to be with me. That thought is intoxicating. It feeds a narcissistic void that says, "I am special. The rules don't apply to us." But how do they justify it? How does a woman who might consider herself kind, loyal, and moral participate in the destruction of another woman's life? Just like the cheater, the mistress relies heavily on cognitive dissonance. She has to split her reality to survive the guilt. On one side, I support women. I value family. On the other side, I am sleeping with a married man. The brain cannot hold these two conflicting ideas without pain. So she creates a new narrative. She rewrites reality to make the behavior acceptable. She tells herself, their marriage was dead before I got here. I'm not hurting her. He is. This isn't an affair. This is true love fighting against circumstances. She is the villain who traps him. I am the hero who loves him. By dehumanizing the wife, by turning the wife into a caricature of a nag or a roommate, the mistress protects her own ego. She convinces herself that she isn't doing something wrong. She's doing something noble. She's saving him from a miserable existence. This is moral disengagement in full swing. She turns off her empathy for the wife so she can focus entirely on her empathy for the man. It is a selective blindness required to keep the fantasy alive. She also clings to the sunk cost fallacy. I've already invested 2 years. I've already cried so many tears. If I leave now, it was all for nothing. But if I wait just a little longer and he finally chooses me, then all this pain will be validated. She is gambling with her time, hoping to win back her losses. But in this casino, the house always wins, and the house is the married man. So what makes someone susceptible to this role? Why do some women walk away the moment they see a ring, while others stay for years? Psychology points to specific attachment wounds. A massive factor here is anxious attachment. People with anxious attachment often struggle with self-worth. They crave intimacy, but they don't believe they deserve consistent, safe love. They are used to fighting for attention. They are used to earning love. So, a married man fits their template perfectly. He is unavailable. He is inconsistent. He gives love in bursts and then withdraws. To a securely attached person, this inconsistency is a red flag. To an anxiously attached person, this feels like home. It triggers their anxiety, which they mistake for passion. They think the pain of missing him is proof of how much they love him. But there is another side to this coin: the avoidant attachment. Surprisingly, many other women are actually avoidant. Why? Because a married man is the safest bet for someone who is terrified of real commitment. Think about it. He can't fully move in. He can't demand 100% of your time. He can't merge his life with yours completely. There is a built-in wall. For an avoidant person, this is the perfect arrangement. They get the intimacy, the sex, the romance, without the terrifying day-to-day reality, laundry, bills, and true vulnerability. They can keep their independence while playing house in the shadows. It is a relationship with an exit sign always lit up. But let's look at the reality of the experience. What happens inside the mistress's mind as the months or years go by? Because the fantasy eventually cracks. The psychology of the affair is built on intermittent reinforcement. This is the same psychological principle used in gambling. If you win every time you pull the lever, you get bored. If you never win, you walk away. But if you win sometimes, unpredictably, randomly, you become addicted. The mistress lives on crumbs. A text message here, a lunch break there, a weekend away once every 6 months. Because the rewards are scarce and unpredictable, her brain releases massive spikes of dopamine whenever she gets them. She becomes chemically addicted to the highs because the lows are so frequent. She spends her days waiting, checking the phone, analyzing his tone. Is he pulling away? Is he with her right now? Is he happy with her? This creates a state of hypervigilance. Her entire mood becomes dependent on his availability. She starts to curate herself. She becomes the cool girl. She suppresses her needs. She doesn't complain. She doesn't ask for more because she knows her position is fragile. She knows that if she becomes difficult, he might go back to the safety of his marriage. So she performs. She becomes a two-dimensional fantasy of a woman. She is always ready, always sexy, always listening. She convinces herself that this is pure love because it isn't bogged down by domestic boringness. She thinks, what we have is electric. What they have is dead. But psychology tells us this isn't intimacy. This is limerence. Limerence is that obsessive, addictive state where you can't stop thinking about the person. And affairs are the perfect breeding ground for limerence because of one simple thing: uncertainty. If he was there every day, snoring on the couch, leaving wet towels on the floor, the magic would fade. But because he is scarce, his value skyrockets. It's basic supply and demand. He is the rare commodity, and the human brain wants what it cannot fully have. But there is a deeper, darker layer. Sometimes the mistress stays because of low self-worth. Deep down, she doesn't believe she deserves the whole cake. So she convinces herself that a slice of red velvet is better than a whole loaf of plain bread. She thinks, a love this intense is rare. I shouldn't throw it away just because of a paper certificate. She romanticizes the suffering. She thinks the pain proves the love. Look how much I endure for him. That must mean it's true love. No, it means it's self-abandonment. She is setting herself. There are different types of mistresses. It's not a monolith. The hopeful romantic. She truly believes this is her soulmate. She is often naive, blinded by love, and believes every lie he tells her. She is the one who waits for years, wasting her youth on a promise that never materializes. The empowered hedonist. She doesn't want him full-time. She likes the sex, the gifts, the dinner dates. She has her own life and doesn't want to wash his socks. But even she often finds that over time, feelings grow and the arrangement stops being enough. The vengeful competitor. She is driven by a need to prove she is better than the wife. She stalks the wife on social media. She compares. She mimics. Her entire identity is wrapped up in being the winner, even though she is technically the secret. The repeater. The woman who only dates unavailable men. If a single available man approaches her, she feels nothing. She needs the obstacle. She needs the drama. She needs the pain to feel the love. This is often a sign of deep trauma where love and suffering were linked in childhood. The psychological toll of this is devastating. Living in secrecy erodes the soul. You can't introduce him to your friends. You can't post photos. You can't plan a vacation 6 months out. Your life becomes a series of last-minute plans. You become a utility, an appliance he turns on when he has a need and turns off when he goes home. This creates a state of chronic anxiety. She's always waiting, always checking the phone, always analyzing the tone of his voice. Did he sound distant today? Is he pulling away? Her entire emotional stability is outsourced to a man who cannot even give her his weekends. She loses her identity. She stops being Sarah, the artist, or Jessica, the lawyer. She becomes the mistress. Her moods are dictated by his schedule. Her happiness is rented, not owned. And let's look at the ending, because it almost always ends. Usually not with him leaving his wife, but with him getting caught or getting bored. And when the hammer falls, the mistress is often left with nothing. No support system, because she couldn't tell anyone. No closure, because he often ghosts to save his marriage. And no sympathy, because society says, you knew he was married, you deserve it. She is left with the grief of a widow, but the stigma of a home wrecker. It is a lonely, hollow place to be. And the cruelest twist, if he does leave his wife for her, the relationship is often doomed anyway. Why? Because the foundation is rotten. A relationship built on deceit, on hiding, on betraying trust, doesn't suddenly become healthy just because the papers are signed. The excitement of the secret fades. The cool girl mask slips. The bills and the laundry and the reality set in. And suddenly, there is a vacuum of trust. She looks at him and thinks, if he could lie to her for years, how do I know he isn't lying to me? If he cheated with me, he will cheat on me. The position of the mistress is a vacancy that is never truly filled. So if you are reading this and you are in that waiting room, if you are the one checking the phone at midnight, you need to understand something. You are trying to quench your thirst by drinking salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. The man is not the prize. He is a person who is lying to 2 women. He's a person who lacks the courage to fix his life or end it honorably. The psychology of the mistress is ultimately a psychology of self-abandonment. It is the act of choosing someone else at the expense of choosing yourself. You deserve to be the main character in your own story, not a deleted scene in someone else's. This isn't about love. This is about a cycle of validation and deprivation. You are caught in a psychological loop. You are projecting your needs onto a screen that is blank. He's not the answer to your loneliness. He is the cause of it. You are giving your loyalty to someone who treats you as an option. You are giving your best years to a man who gives you his spare minutes. Real love does not hide. Real love does not ask you to shrink. Real love does not make you a secret. Real love chooses you. Out loud, in the light, every single day. Breaking free requires seeing the pattern. It requires admitting that the connection is mostly trauma bonding and dopamine spikes. It requires realizing that you are not saving him. You are enabling him. You are the crutch that allows him to limp along in a broken marriage without ever having to fix it or leave it. You are the pressure valve. By staying, you aren't helping him find happiness. You are helping him avoid reality, and you are avoiding your own. You are avoiding the terrifying but necessary work of finding a partner who is actually available. Because that requires vulnerability. That requires the risk of real rejection, not the safe, stalled rejection of the affair. And if this helped you see the pattern, if it helped you recognize the trap, tap like. Share this with someone who might need to hear it, and hit subscribe to start understanding the mind so you can stop letting others control yours. And remember, the moment you stand up and walk out of the waiting room is the moment your real life begins.